Hello everyone, Molly Pompidith here, CEO of the SOAR Community Network and co-founder of the SOAR Community Nebula. You all know by now, I hope, that we are really capturing or spotlighting powerful stories of great community builders and change agents in our world. The goal is to connect with 1,000 this year. And today we are talking with my buddy, my friend, my soul brother, Chef Tony Marciante. Thank you, Chef, for being a part of this initiative.
Oh, great to be here, Molly. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So Chef Tony, can you let us know who you are and what's your work in the world professionally?
Well, who I am, I hope I would say first a husband, a father to a lot of kids that I pulled in with my wife's amazing family, and a chef and a restaurateur with my wife. We own Chef Tony's in downtown Bethesda. I'm definitely a marketer and an online business person, and a few roles not yet defined.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's talk now about the moments in your life or people in your life who've gone out of their way to extend their hand, show you love, compassion, really helped shift the way that you operate in life, or perhaps shifted the way you think profoundly. Any situations or
That could go on for hours, but yeah, I would say God first. My amazing wife, like, she is unbelievable to support my initial dream that is now ours. My parents, of course, my parents have been supporting me all through life, being an entrepreneur and going over off and after my crazy ventures and ideas. And the community around us, really. I mean, we opened up our restaurant in 2007, as you know, right before the recession, which wasn't so great. So we had a rough couple of years. Our first couple of years were really tough. So I think, I'd have to put in that group, the community of diners that we have and people support our local business. We've done, I think, a good job overall of connecting with people, both in person and through media. So it's one of those things where, you're any business in any life, you need support from people around you. You can't do it on your own. So I definitely recognize that very well. And the physical space that we're in, we thank it every night, as you directed me to. So
That's awesome.
All combined.
So let's now share a little bit more about when your thoughts around what a community champion is, what characteristics, what attributes come to mind when you think of someone who is going out there and building their communities or creating positive impact in their own way.
Well, I think, it's necessary, so I hope you'd want to do it from the heart. B, I just think it's a good vibe to realize that your business impacts people in all sorts of ways. And I think the better that business people could realize that and recognize that and act on it, it not only is a good feel-good thing and it makes you have a passion and a purpose for what you do, but it's actually, sometimes it can be another level kind of thing. It can be something where it takes a little while to recognize that. In the beginning, you're kind of grinding and surviving and like floating in the river and hoping your nose is above the water more than it's below. But after some time, you get the luxury of thinking it through and thinking, why do I do what I do, and how can I, how do I, and how could I further impact people around me in our community? So, I think, for my example, food is a connector of people in the entire world, whether or not you speak the same language, or even if you don't. I think it connects people in amazing ways. So I feel like it's something that we're doing on a bigger level to connect families and connect people and to provide, a place of rest as a restaurant, a place of somewhere to come together and build a community. Maybe it's two people who don't know each other. We've had 1,000 stories of people who met each other at the restaurant and now are best of friends. So I think it's a real thing. And I think you need to recognize it and hopefully amplify it by thinking it through and maybe putting some more clarification to it.
Yeah, restaurants and food, they're all very meaningful. I mean, Chef Tony is a place that, my husband, well, he called you first to organize all of it, but he proposed to me at your restaurant. So it can be such a beautiful space where people can share memories for the rest of their lives. So, sometimes you kind of take for granted the space that you're in or what you do or how much just showing up and being there can impact someone's life. So thanks for having the restaurant and creating that memory for me.
Of course.
So Chef, what causes do you care about? How are you contributing to the community with your gifts and your talents? What are some of the things that you do to community build?
Well, I think primarily we make sure our business, at least on our business side, is focused on connecting people and being a really friendly kind of place. Like legitimately, we try to encourage relationships. Um, Outside of that, in terms of what I could do or what I am doing, I try to, volunteer as much as I can in the community in terms of things that I can do for the food story in Bethesda. I'm also trying to do more online education and kind of leaning more towards that grander vision of connecting people and kids through food. So I'm always encouraging parents to feed their kids real food and to not be slaves to, the electronic devices and have a little bit of backbone to tell, kids will eat what you promote them to eat. And sometimes I think we bend too quickly. So I'm trying to promote that idea to the community of like, hey, your kids are following your steps. And I'm not a parent necessarily, I'm now, but my kids are grown. So, now we're handling the grandkids, but I think that's something I'm trying to promote within the people that I influence, and realizing also in the business world, I want to influence people to figure out marketing and figure out things that they do to promote the business, because most restaurateurs, in my opinion, aren't great marketers. And when they close, it's a shame because they could have been successful. So that's something I like to give back as a gift, because it's a shame we have a good restaurant that does its business and just doesn't do enough of it to stay alive. So those are a few things.
That's great. So, what kind of quotes, or if you have one in mind, a quote or philosophy, a motto, a saying that keeps you going, that empowers you to move forward, especially during those tough times in life or just having a bad day? Can you share a quote or something that inspires you?
Well, I think for me, what inspires me is to realize, I don't know if it's a quote, but it's just remembering where we came from and remembering who we do it for. We came from, a great idea to start up this restaurant and our business and our life together. My wife and I basically, all this began at the same time. So, it was a very hard fought war to get where we are now, and it's a blessing. And it's something I keep reminding people about that work with us, because, people that are new to our restaurant, meaning our internal guests, our employees, they often can forget or don't know how much of a struggle was to get here. So for me, it's just about remembering that when I walk out and it's been a tough day and I say, well, you've had way tougher days and you're still here. And in all reality, like, things we're going to deal with are pretty minor compared to the world that we live in and what possibilities could be. So I just keep it humble and keep it real and kind of say, there's more things to do in the next day that could fix the problem that might have come up today. And in general, we're super blessed. So I just keep it kind of grounded in that philosophy of appreciation of what we do and the opportunities that we have every day to open up and feed people. And I definitely am learning more and more about myself in terms of the way I tick and why I tick the way I do, and the fact that our restaurant is a great center for all that. So it gives me opportunity to connect with people every day. So that's a big part of who I am.
So, Chef T, what would a better world look like in through your eyes?
Mm. Light question. Um, what I think I would say is I really believe people need to take a little bit, a little bit of notion that life is good, appreciating what you have. And some people walk around with a chip on their shoulder or a negative cloud above them. And, I would wish for them that they discover that life is pretty awesome if you make it so. And if you try to make it so, it may not be all awesome, of course, but I just think if people realize how blessed they are, that they wake up and they've got more than one pair of shoes to put on, they've got a house with AC or heat in it, you're beating out a lot of the rest of the world. Not that it's a competition, but I wish everybody would be perfect, and then maybe that's possible one day. But I think if everybody had a more positive vibe and figured out that life is amazing, that maybe it would rub off on the next person, the next person, the next person, and it would help the world to become a better place.
That's awesome, Chef. Your vibe is amazing. Thanks for your love and support and
I've
being.
learned from a few amazing people too.
That's awesome. Can you please let us know how people can reach you and learn more about all the good work that you're doing?
Sure. The restaurant website, cheftonysbethesda.com. My personal website is T as in Tony, Marciante, MARCIANTE.com. That's where I launch more of my sales training and restaurant marketing stuff and all kinds of, I have a podcast called restaurantownerlessons.com that's doing quite well. And, that's kind of the world I'm in.
That's awesome. Thank you again for all that you do to feed the people, to feed our souls.
Thank you.
And for those that are watching, thanks again for tuning in. We really appreciate you for following us as we travel the world to connect with 1,000 change agents this year. At least that's the goal. And if you want to learn more about becoming a change agent, Nebula member, or perhaps just nominate somebody in your life that's doing some good, please visit nebula.soar, that's SOAR, communitynetwork.com. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk to you real soon, everybody.